Alrighty, we are here wrapping up day 3 of practice for the Costa FLW Series Championship on Kentucky Lake. I've got Southeastern and Northern Division stud Ron Nelson with me. Ron, I guess you basically told me you've never been to Kentucky Lake before. You've had a day here, a day there, but never this time of year, never for an extended period of time. How do you like the lake so far?
It's overwhelming.
It's huge.
It's huge, but I do like it. I kind of like the flowage of the current. I like the options where you can fish deep still and still fish shallow and catch them kind of both ways.
All right. Have you seen the whole lake? Have you kind of focused in on any particular section?
I've not gone up to the next bridge. I think it's 79, whatever that's called.
Yep.
Stayed that bridge down, and I've gone down way down past New Johnsonville.
Okay. You sort of mentioned you can catch some fish shallow, you can catch some fish deep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kind of trying a game plan where you can do one thing, or are you kind of trying to make a diverse game plan? Because, you know, at Champlain this year, you ran like a super diverse game plan. You know, you had your foot in the largemouth and the smallmouth pie. That's not the expression, but we're going with it. And you worked it to a T.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to figure out is which fish are actually staying more consistent for me. Because I've had some of the deep fish, some big schools, all of a sudden disappear, and then all of a sudden kind of reappear. And so I don't know this place, whether it's you know, how much of a timing issue it is, or how much of a fall migration issue it is. I've had shallow fish in a couple of areas stay real consistent. So, but the shallow fish for me are not as big. I mean, I'm catching some 3s and 4s, which I'd like to call a nice solid fish, but I'm not. The fish I had deep were mostly all big females, it seemed like, for some reason.
All right. Well, I like that you're catching some fish and catching some big ones. We've heard a lot of complaining because it's practice, but it seems like you're on the upper end of that so far.
No, I just think a lot of fishermen like to complain. That's
fair.
The strategy, I guess. You know, we're not catching anything when they are. You talk about different diversity, and we got, you know, I think a full moon coming again. And as odd as it sounds, I was up in 3 feet of water yesterday, and I go, oh, there's a bed.
No way.
And then I got back and talked to my roommate. I said, hey, did you see a bed today? He goes, you know what, I did. And I'm like, you know, back home we get a mock spawn, and when the water gets around 65 sometimes, and full moonish, and I'm like, maybe that's something, you know, who knows? But I don't plan on doing that.
I was going to say, is that something you could plan on, do you think?
No, I only seen one bed, but it was odd. I mean, it was just, you know, I got to a clear bar, and I'm like, that's definitely a bed, and it's definitely a fresh bed, and so I'm like, huh.
Well, I guess that's something to watch for. It might, you know, keep a fish or two extra up shallow anyhow.
Well, I like spawning fish, but I don't plan on doing that.
Yeah, I hear you. You've got one more day of practice. What's your tentative game plan with that?
Sleep in, relax.
All right, so you're
not get too stressed out. No, I mean, I could catch 5 real easy, or I could be having a hard time catching 5. You just can't be over confident in such a big body of water. I mean, you might make a milk run of 4 or 5 spots, and there's a boat every spot.
Yeah.
So some of the spots are pretty small with fish in the area, but the key spots are pretty small usually. So.
Okay. You know, you fished a lot of big tournaments. Obviously, you've had a lot of success, but this one, you know, you look at the field, and it's you know, it's Brian Thrift and Anthony Gagliardi. It's the best of every region, basically, all put together. Is there any more pressure, or do you fish something like that at all differently? No, I mean, pressure's not an issue on that. The only thing that makes my wheels spin is like Jason Lambert or something like that, a ledge guy, and I'm finding fish out deep, and I'm going, you know, something like that who understands it much better than me has a huge advantage. But I also go, hey, it's just fish, and you pull up to a spot, I can catch them if they're there too. All right. Well, man, good luck out there, and here's hoping you catch them when they're there. Appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty, next up, Scooter Griffith, all the way from Arizona. I guess right off the bat, how long did it take you to get here?
About 23 hours. You know? So not terrible, but it was a long drive.
2 days, or like straight through with a buddy?
Yeah, no, I made it by myself, so I had to stop one time. My wife was like, if you get tired, you need to stop. And after about 16 hours, I was starting to wear a little bit and figured just one more day, it'd be 8 hours long and it'd be fine. So I just did it that way. Yeah, better to get you here all in one piece and rested than, you know, not here at all or just real fast. Yeah, for sure. I guess you told me you fished the BFL All-American a couple years ago on Barkley, which, you know,
Berkeley, Kentucky, they're connected. In theory, you can run on over there if you want to.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a ways. How are you finding Kentucky Lake?
Well, it's funny that you say it, because I thought about going to Berkeley, but I mean, you win here. You're not going to win at Berkeley, I don't think. So
That's fair.
you know, I just put my time in here, and gosh, what's this, a third day? And I've been putting some long hours in trying to figure it out. It is definitely fishing a lot different than Berkeley did, but we were here during the summer, you know.
Oh yeah.
So that's a complete different deal. It's tough fishing for me, but I mean, I just keep my head down and keep grinding away. And I mean, I'm catching good ones. I caught a 7-pounder yesterday, so
No kidding.
that was pretty good. But
That's awesome.
I mean, it stinks to catch it in practice, but I mean, who's to know? I mean, you got to set the hook on some of them. So.
Oh yeah, you got. I mean, you got to see what's there a little bit, and ideally, if you find a spot that can carry you through, or a pattern that can carry you through, if you catch one in practice, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're bed fishing or something like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like I said, I feel like maybe it's just a little bit of a pattern, but it's still, there's a couple of really random things that happen whenever you catch a big one like that. And then, you know, the day before I caught like a 4-pounder, and I thought, gosh, it's just not quite the same for me. But there's certain things, like there's bait fish, and there's, you know, different kinds of fish around that are keeping me there. Like I caught a couple drums in those same exact places, and it just makes you think that there's just a lot of life in those couple of areas. So like I said, if one of my buddies told me, Brad Knight, said that if you could get 2 or 3 spots a day, you'd be fine throughout the whole tournament, because you have 4 days of tournament, you know what I mean? So, you know,
well, 3, but
yeah, you have 3 days of the tournament, but yeah, 4 days of practice is what I meant. So like you said, it's I feel like that's I'm right around that area, so we'll have to see what happens. I mean, anything could happen.
Okay.
It's gonna get cold. It's not gonna get cold. It's gonna get warmer, and it's gonna rain.
Yeah, it's gonna get warmer and wet. So that's one thing I wanted to ask somebody about, because in the fall there's a lot of movement happening, and in the spring there's a lot of movement, but it seems usually more predictable. Yeah. This time of year, have you fished many fall tournaments? How do you sort of plan for, you know, changes in weather, just changes in attitude?
This is a transition right now. Yeah. Because they're just getting off the ledges like last month or something like that, and then now they want to get to the back. I'm looking for all the bait that's in the back, and I'm finding the bait that's in the back. I just can't find the fish around them yet. Really? So they're just in that transition, and I think that's why it makes it a real level playing field. You know, even the guys that live around here still, I mean, it's a tough time between, you know, when they're out deep and when they're moving shallow. So I love to fish shallow. So I can't wait for them to get up there, and the warmer this is going, it seems to be, the more the fish are moving up shallow. So I'm raring up for it, you know. That's
kind of cool, as it warms up from this real cold snap we just had to start practice, that you think the fish are actually starting to move a little bit more and get a little more accessible maybe. Yeah, because they were, you know, in that transition, and then as soon as that cold snap starts, they want to start moving back there again. But you know, now it's going to warm back up, so it's going to put them right back where they should be, which is probably those really shallow ledges. You know, that's what everyone seems to be targeting. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys on that. I'm trying to get off of it the best I can, but you know, today I caught another good one on topwater, and like I said, it was just on a shallow ledge, and it's no secret. I mean, but you have to find the right ledge, and then you got to find 10 of them, you know, as well. So. Yeah. You know, with the water this low this time of year, it can be a little tricky navigating out there. Have you had any close calls? I did. And you know what's crazy is that I went past an area and I fished it, and I was fishing in like 4 feet of water, and then I fished it all the way to the back. Well, I got on my big motor and I took off, and I came back, and instead of following the channel, I followed my trail, and I just drove right over like 3 foot. It you know, had my heart going pretty good, but it was a close call, but it wasn't that close. All right. Well, there's some dangerous stuff out here, though. Oh, yeah, there's some stumps, there's some rocks, there's some gravel. It's a little iffy out there. Yeah, but that's what I like. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's you know, same as Lake Mead. I mean, Lake Mead is huge. We just finished the U.S. Open, and it's 130,000 surface acres. So not only do you have to learn how to drive a boat and navigate, you still have to learn how to catch a fish. So it's kind of the same here. All right. For me, it is, at least. Well. Scooter, thanks for stopping by, and then you got one more day to go figure out how to catch a few more. Oh man, one more day. Got 12 hours, almost 12 hours. Good luck. Yeah, thanks, man.